Supreme Court affirms election of Babajide Sanwo-Olu as duly elected governor of Lagos State. Implementation of 8-point agenda African Union Development Agency, new partnerships for Africa's development adopts a 3P strategy to deliver. These and more on Panorama. I'm Amina Saidu. The Supreme Court, sitting in Abuja, has dismissed the appeal of the candidate of LP in the Lagos State governorship election, Badebo Rhodes Vivo, challenging the declaration and return of Babajide Sanwo-Olu as the governor of Lagos State. The five-man panel of justices headed by Justice John Okoro gave the order in an appeal filed by LP and its candidate in the March 28, 2023 governorship election. The Supreme Court dismissed the appeal as a gross abuse of court process. The panel equally dismissed the appeal of PDP and its candidate against the election of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Also, the Supreme Court has upheld the election of Governor Bala Mohammed as duly elected governor of Bauchi State under the platform of PDP. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is now delivering verdicts on the appeals on the conduct of the governorship election in Kano and Abia states. The five-man panel of justices headed by Justice John Okoro will equally give its verdicts on the Zamfara, Plateau, Ebonyi and Cross River States governorship appeals. We now join our judiciary correspondent Dele Atumbi to tell us more on the Supreme Court judgment. Hello Dele, what's happening right now?
Thank you, Amina. The first issue which the panel of justices headed by Justice Iang Okoro has to do with the Lagos matter. Two appeals were dismissed from Lagos State. The first appeal was that of the Labour Party, which was challenging the eligibility of the governor of Lagos State to contest election as a citizen of Nigeria. And it was resolved that any citizen of Nigeria that is born in the country or outside the country that has parentage of Nigerians can be eligible to contest election in this country. And that one has been resolved, and which led to the fact that the appeal was dismissed. The LP appeal was dismissed. And that of the PDP was equally dismissed. As at the time we are discussing, the Kano matter is being heard. However, before that, take a look at Bauchi. The appellant, who was the candidate of the APC during the election, Sadiq Abubakar, came up with 6 issues, and all the 6 issues were resolved against him. And that means that the appeal could not be sustained, and that had led to the return of or affirmation of Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State. The panel is addressing the issue of Kano as at this time, and the outcome of Kano will definitely expand the electoral jurisprudence in this country, because several issues will be decided. The first one has to do with the fact that the 165,606 ballot box or ballot papers cast, are they invalid? And if peradventure they are invalid, what made them to be invalid? And peradventure, if they are not invalid, if ballot papers are not signed, whose fault is it? Is it the fault of INEC or the fault of the contenders in the election? These are some of the things that the Supreme Court will decide on Kano matter. And don't equally forget, another issue in Kano matter has to do with the fact that can the trial court count the ballots in their own chambers without parties being part of the matter? And that was done in Kano, and it is the decision of the final court that will stand. But the fate of two men are in the balance, as at the time we are discussing. And I'm aware that Justice John Okoro is the one, aside from presiding, is the one equally adjudicating over the delivery of the judgment.
Okay, so what's the atmosphere there? I mean, the people, the parties involved, and any security update?
The truth of the matter is that the security of the complex is very, very tight. There is watertight security, and everything has to be done orderly. And the serene in the courtroom is very, very peaceful, and the atmosphere there is peaceful. Nothing untoward is being expected as at the time that we are talking about this matter.
Thank you very much, Dele. Let's join correspondent Abdullahi Mustafa, who is standing by in Kano, to give us more updates. Hello, Abdullahi. Hello, Abdullahi. What's the situation on ground?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, the situation here in Kano is calm. Most of the places, before now, the city has been very quiet. Although initially people started taking their children to school and opening some businesses, but later on, many schools closed down and people started closing their shops for the fear of what may transpire after the judgment is announced. But a few minutes ago, we've started seeing celebration around the government house, because this place I'm standing is a location where in front of me is the Kano government house, and this is State Road that connects the Nasarawa area to the ancient city. And those coming in from that area are telling me that there are not much people around, but they could be seen in places gathered discussing what the situation, and just assuming what may likely come up from the Supreme Court. As we were told, the judgment is still being delivered there at the Apex Court. But around here, had it been you came to us a few minutes ago, you would have seen celebration in the background going on. But quite all right, in most parts of the city, though it is Friday, there are not too much people along the streets. There is free flow of traffic. Even this place in the morning as we stood, there were movements of both commercial and private vehicles. But now all the places have been blocked, and nobody is passing, unless if you're coming into the government house or if you're on a special assignment. So far, this is the situation here in Kano.
So, Abdullahi, who are those celebrating? Can you have your cameraman show us the vicinity so that we can see the jubilation and celebration going on there?
Yes, as I told you, I could see from, because there are some NNPP supporters inside the government house here, I saw them driving vehicles and motorcycles celebrating that the victory is there. So we don't know because whether the final verdict has been delivered. But for now, none of them is around. But just before you came to us, a minute before then, we could see some vehicles going around celebrating that they are chanting victory slogans, that their party at last victory is theirs. But for now, we cannot tell what is happening there at the court and in other parts of the city.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi. That was Abdullahi from Kano. A pair of books, Working with Buhari, Reflection of the Special Advisor Media and Publicity 2015 to 2023, and Muhammadu Buhari, The Nigerian Legacy 2015 to 2023, is set to be launched next week, Tuesday, 16th of January, in Abuja. Author One Media aide to former President Muhammadu Buhari, Femi Adesina, and other co-authors say the books seek to correct certain narratives about the former president as well as his achievements in office.
If there is anyone who knew better in and out of the former president Muhammad Buhari, it would be his image maker, the media aide Femi Adesina. Having known the man long before he became the president of Nigeria, what he has to say in his book, Working with Buhari, Reflection of the Special Advisor, Media and Publicity 2015 to 2023, will be to reveal, clarify, correct a wrong notion while setting the record straight above his former boss.
There is a certain myth about President Buhari, a narrative that his political enemies had sold and fed to the Nigerian public. I just felt that the true narrative needed to be told.
The second book, Muhammadu Buhari, The Nigerian Legacy, is a 5-volume book with 100 authors. It chronicles the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari across board.
Much as this is the most authoritative and most definitive work on the Muhammadu Buhari administration, I cannot say that we covered everything that there is to be covered. It will probably take us another 1-2 years of research and work to have done that.
Charles Alpha, NTA News.
We now take a break. Panorama. Welcome back. The African Union Development Agency New Partnership for Africa's Development, AUDA-NEPAD, has come up with a 3-piece strategy: productivity, partnership and prosperity to drive the 8 priority areas of the renewed hope agenda of the current administration. Kenneth Nanim reports that AUDA-NEPAD is using a 2-day capacity building workshop to ensure its staff and partners and other stakeholders key into the initiative.
Ending poverty, achieving food security, economic growth, and job creation, security and anti-corruption are part of the 8 priority areas of the renewed hope agenda of the current administration. And the African Union Development Agency New Partnership for Africa's Development is widening conversation amongst key players to understand what is expected of them to meaningfully contribute in propagating government policies and programs. The workshop is also digging deep to identify challenges in the implementation process, to deal with them headlong and consolidate on the successes already achieved.
We need to understand what the government wants to do and how you want to do it. The policies government has put in place. Government has said there should be development, there should be economic growth, and what is our own to ensure that that agenda of presidents is actualized at the end of the day. Each of the 8-point agenda is critically being studied.
Ours is to collaborate with the NEPAD office and make sure that the policies is being fully implemented to the benefit of an average Nigerian.
Mainstreaming of efforts towards implementation of the African Agenda 2063 and the United Nations SDGs of 2030 are other areas of focus. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tori Lagbaja, has vowed to stabilize the security situation in the southeast geopolitical zone of the country in order to enable the people of the area to go about their normal businesses. He made the vow when he paid a courtesy visit to the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, at the Government House, Owerri. Kingsley Onunu has details.
Addressing the Imo State Governor, Senator Hope Uzodimma, the Chief of Army Staff, said no effort should be spared by the Nigerian Army towards ridding the zone of criminal elements and therefore vowed to stabilize the security situation in the 5 states that make up the geopolitical entity. He also said that the purpose of the visit to the governor, which is part of activities marking his ongoing operational tour of the area, was to assess infrastructural facilities in the barracks and the operational deployment, as well as having first-hand security report in the state.
I can attest to the fact that the security situation has improved significantly. This has been achieved likely due to the support of the government and the goodwill of Imo State through the military and other security agencies. So I want to appreciate you, Excellency. We will continue to support Nigeria. We will continue to collaborate with Nigeria, particularly under the leadership.
advised the Chief of Army Staff to work in collaboration with other security agencies in fiching out criminal and non-state actors in the zone. In Owerri, Kingsley Onaniwu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, residents of Sagwari Estate in the last Sunday's kidnapping incidents on the Dutse-Buari Road, Federal Capital Territory, say the suspected gunmen have made contact to demand ransoms for the release of the victims. They spoke to security correspondent Onotu Yakubu, who was at the community for a situation update.
This gate provided access for the suspected kidnappers as they descended down from the mountains into Sagwari Estate. And from the information I gathered, as they arrived, their first point of contact was this house in the estate where 5 persons were kidnapped.
John Damina here is the gateman to the house and was the first to encounter the kidnappers on their arrival. He narrated that 5 victims were taken by the abductors from the house, with 3 from the neighbors opposite and 2 more from this hotel in the estate.
They caught my shade, tied my back. So they all bring us together here, including other people. They are coming back, they just kidnap them, put us all together here. So when I come back, I look at her situation and let me just sacrifice myself, either dead or not anything. So I'm sitting here so I start running, they pursue me. I run to the gate and tell the security of the gate, see what is happening. So the 4 people come, they don't already go.
Sagwari Estate, like many others along Dutse, Buari and Kubwa axis, sits on the foot of the mountains, a feature which security observers recently established in analysis to confer undue advantages to bandits and kidnapping syndicates and jeopardize general security.
The people came from this the mountain top. So when they came, I think some of them now stay outside because of if you go down there, you see nobody's living outside. So 2 passed them there, saw them, they didn't know them. So around that kind of 7:45, me and my wife was here. She's washing clothes, so I spotted somebody outside. On my way coming, now alert me say kidnappers did this house.
Other residents who spoke off camera revealed that the kidnappers have made contact to demand various ransom sums. In all, 7 minors and 3 adults were abducted. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development is set to become a world-class provider of safe, secure and comfortable air transport sector that is self-sustaining and pivotal to socio-economic growth. And Region reports that this is a projection of new executives of agencies under the ministry just inaugurated. The report.
It's a fresh takeoff for the aviation industry in Nigeria, as the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, renews his determination to revolutionize the sector. Newly inducted in this room are the executive officers and directors of all aviation agencies. The directive is clear, as outlined by the Minister.
Your appointments signify a two-way street. Success will be praised. I repeat, success will be praised, yet any shortcomings will be met with scrutiny.
Other speakers at the event expressed optimism about the renewed hope mandate in the aviation sector.
Our 8 priority areas of the President, aviation and aerospace development, sit within economic growth, and those are the particular areas of priority that Mr. President really holds dear to him.
On her loyalty and support for our vision, I will leave no stone unturned to achieve it.
Highlight of the induction was the signing of the performance bond with the minister. Some of the minister's 5-point agenda is to ensure strict compliance with safety regulations, improvement of infrastructure, development of human capacity, as well as optimizing revenue generation for the federal government. In Abuja, Ian Ray John, NTA News.
Housing deficit and its effect on the masses and affordability problems have become a matter of great concern to Nigerians. Nigeria, with an estimated rising figure of 28 million housing deficits, is already a call for worry. In this special report, Francis Odojo takes a look at the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development's major activities of 2023 geared towards tackling the challenge of housing deficits.
Housing deficit and affordability are major issues in Nigeria as governments after another try to resolve. Inadequate funding and lack of accurate data to ascertain the number, category of people, and areas for adequate attention and many other loopholes have caused setback in housing delivery. However, a sigh of hope seems to have set in with the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu separating the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development from that of Works to enable it stand alone to deliver its mandate. To bring the initiative to fruition, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, set up a housing reform team of experts to look at all areas of housing delivery, abandoned federal projects by contractors since 2012, and ongoing housing partnership projects were inspected by the Minister of Housing and decisions taken to restore agreements. A meeting of federal housing agencies was also held for robust synergy. Financial institutions were equally engaged to help provide necessary funding. Meeting with UN Habitat was also a plus. While the need for accurate data generation is key, the ministry engaged the National Population Commission ahead of the national census for accurate data generation in tackling housing deficit. At the 12th National Council of Lands, Housing and Urban Development meeting in Kaduna State, decisions were also taken to review the Land Use Act of 1978 to suit current housing demands and how to harness local and international credit scheme for housing infrastructure development were made.
The meeting resolved and agreed that there are other options of getting this housing finance that we can explore.
Having taken necessary measures, government has signed an MOU with 3 companies set to deliver renewed hope cities and estate of 100,000 housing units across the country over the next 4 years, beginning with the first phase of 20,000 in Abuja, while the 80,000 units will be spread across 6 geopolitical zones of the country.
This MOU signing, we're ending the year 2023 on a strong vote and settling a solid foundation for a strong start for a new.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been able to put in place very friendly investment policies, remove hurdles to investments.
In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Up next is sports. President Bola Tinubu condoles with former President Goodluck Jonathan over the death of his sister, Madam Obibatin Jonathan. He urges Dr. Jonathan to take solace in the legacy of her life to the service of God and humanity. The President prays for the repose of the soul of the departed and comfort for those who mourn this painful loss. And that's it on Panorama. Thanks for staying with us.